Now, we like to keep it light here and have fun all the time, like we just did by making fun of how I shoot a basketball. But sometimes there are serious stories to be told.
Yeah, definitely. Last week we showed you an interview with Kansas Director of Basketball Operations Fred Cordobaum. I had a great conversation with him, and this week we share what Coach Q has to say about his father, who actually recently passed away. But he says the KU community really rallied behind him to get him through a tough time. If you're willing to talk about it, Coach, you lost your dad earlier this year. You stayed with basketball throughout it. What was that process like, and how big was your basketball community here at KU to get you through something like that?
The basketball community, the Lawrence community, the world, they were unbelievably supportive. And it started with, obviously, our family, but I'm talking about our basketball family. Starting with Coach Self, our assistant coaches, our players, and everybody involved. They allowed me to really dive in and be what we call a caregiver. I don't know if there's a playbook for it, but for the last 9 months, that was my #1 priority. And to have the support from our Lawrence community and our basketball family just made that caregiving relationship with my dad extremely special.
You know, what did you learn from him when he was around? I'm sure that he taught you a lot about basketball, but a lot more than basketball, I'm sure.
Well, I think what I've learned that he was going through, obviously a terminal battle, but just to see him get up every day and still fight. #1, fight to live. You know, that was the most important thing. Sometimes when we go through some struggles or some adversity, and he obviously was at that point, he continued to fight, continue to keep a smile on the face, continue to stay positive, continue to follow Kansas basketball. Come home after a loss, I'm going to hear obviously what we didn't do, what we should have done, you know, all those things. But, you know, he kept his focus on Kansas, kept his focus on me, and didn't feel sorry for himself. And I learned a lot through that, because we go through the same thing in our life, that you can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to stay positive. You got to keep grinding. And that's what he continued to do every single day. So I try to continue to live off that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll shift gears here for my last question. A lot of young Jayhawk fans out there, junior Jayhawks, I think you call them. Well, what would you tell them? What would be their message to them about basketball, about life, or what they should be doing right now to prepare themselves for their future?
Well, I think first and foremost, for future junior Jayhawks, we all talk about skill development. We all talk about training and things like that. But I would really challenge them to do more reading. I would challenge them to become better teammates. I don't think we teach that part of the game, right? It's more about being a better shooter, being a better dribbler, so on and so forth. But I think developing your mind, becoming more mentally tough, challenge yourself, you know, and you're going to fail, but let's fail forward. Those things I think are extremely, extremely important. And if there's a loose ball on the floor, learn from Kevin McCullough. Go after it with 2 hands.
Lots of good lessons there from Coach Q. We always appreciate their time. They're busy this time of year.
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.